So hi, my name is Dave Conklin, and I'm going to go over kind of the history of Conklin Media, what we do for our customers, and how we might be able to help you out. This video is just intended to give you, the kind of 30,000 foot view, so to speak, of what we do and how we help our customers. So we've been playing in this game for about 18 years, and it's been a really exciting journey. Actually got started in the real estate industry, and I was doing a ton of cold calling. I used to go around to different neighborhoods that had really expensive houses, and I would write down the street names and the zip codes of those developments, and then I go back and cold call the houses from this blue phone book that we had. It was before the internet was really even around. And what I noticed though is I started every time I would get a bunch of business and I had to actually do the work, I wouldn't be able to cold call anymore. So my business would go up and down. So I'd have this incredible month where I made 10 grand, and then I wouldn't make anything for 2 months because of the fact that I couldn't keep cold calling. So I wanted to make a website. So I built this website that intended to generate real estate leads for myself, called getmyhomesvalue.com. And what ended up happening is we got leads from Texas and New York and all over the country, and it was just crazy. I had no marketing knowledge whatsoever, but learned how to do marketing because of the fact that I actually had to generate leads for my own business using social media, pay-per-click, SEO, all those different strategies that we use in digital marketing today. So we grew that to about 60 employees. We won awards for being the Emerging Business of the Year, won 40 Under 40 awards, all this crazy stuff. But what really was awesome was when we actually won the Inc. 500 award 2 years in a row. Now keep in mind, that means we were one of the fastest growing companies in the entire country 2 years in a row, and we had no investment capital. We started this sucker with a $5,000 credit card, and that's how we grew it, just from scratch. So it was super exciting. What's even more exciting, actually, and I'll get to this in a second, but Conklin Media is growing faster right now than that company grew, which is just crazy to even consider and think about. So in 2007, what happened was the real estate market tanked. So all of these real estate agents that were buying leads were getting out of the real estate business, and they didn't need real estate leads for their business anymore because they weren't realtors. So we were like, hey, we've got this great team that knows how to market really well. Let's pivot them over. And we ended up getting customers like Hershey Chocolate, Armstrong World Industries, all these huge companies, publicly traded, small businesses all over the place. And we found out that, hey, we actually know how to do the marketing agency thing. There was a lot of stuff in the beginning that we struggled with, like keeping clients up to date, because we had no idea how to do that because we were always doing the marketing for ourselves, not for other people. But through the years, we figured it out. Seth Godin, the author of Purple Cow, one of the greatest marketing minds in the world, that's a picture of me and him together when I look about 85 years younger than I do today, which is kind of interesting. But anyway, so we grew that, still exists today, but I sold my interest in that company in 2014 to take on a private CMO consulting project that I did for a couple of years, where we literally grew 800 different revenue generating websites for investors. Really crazy time. If you ever want to talk to me about that, please ask, and I'd love to share my stories from there. But learned how to use the web to build passive revenue for businesses, individuals, and others, and that was just an exciting time. So then we decided, hey, let's launch Conklin Media. Let's do this again. So all the stuff I've learned through this past 18-year journey, the good, the bad, the ugly, is kind of being put into this project, Conklin Media, that we're doing right now. And we've worked with through the years hundreds of different clients that include folks like General Digital, Riverwood Cabins, so Hats.com, and Famous Smoke. So we've done the e-commerce stuff. We've done the B2B stuff with companies like KUKA. They actually make the robotic arms that are in the BMW factories. And then we've worked with Dorner Conveyors, EPI Laborers, tons of different companies, and we've had a ton of fun doing it. And every single one of those companies, we weren't just making pretty things or whatever. It was all about putting money in their pocket. It was about the ROI. It was about making sure that rankings equal revenue and things like that. So some of the tactics that we do We do design and development in-house, whether it be building out a microsite for a new industry you want to break into, doing a website design or redesign, doing any high-end data-focused content. We've got great examples of that we're not going to show in this presentation, but feel free to ask for some examples. They're really cool. And we do development projects. We build tools. We're actually building our own tool right now that's really cool called CEO No. We do content creation. So we look at paid search-focused content as well as the SEO, like latent semantic indexing content, like crazy high-level, search engine optimization stuff. We do high-end data journalism, and we do socially viral content as well for specific social networks and things. So we do paid search and display. We do SEO, which is rankings in the organic sections of the keywords. We help companies with paid social and organic social. We do a lot of retargeting and a lot of email as well. We've become really good thanks to one of our rock stars here, Brian, at cold email. I'm really confident about how we are in that regard, and that's a new thing for agencies to really kind of dive into. And using those tactics, we work with our clients in a couple of different ways. Sometimes we go in to a company and we'll be completely hands off and we'll just do consulting. So we'll work with a marketing team, we'll lead their team, we'll work with them on a monthly basis to kind of give them goals and objectives and give them some guidance and then kind of set them on their way. And then we just keep that team accountable to make things happen, and we dive in kind of when we're needed. We also do audits and strategy plans for companies. This is where you tell us, hey, look, can you tell us how we're doing? And we spend a couple days with our team and we just dig in, man. We look at your keyword rankings, your links, your social media. We look at all of the landing pages you're sending traffic to. We break it all out and we make sure that what we're looking at is stuff that is actually converting and bringing revenue into that bottom line of your statements. We do hands-on social for some folks, so that's where we'll actually work with someone's social media account and make sure that we're knocking that out of the park. Excuse that beep, by the way. That's somebody trying to reach out to me. It might happen a few more times. Should have probably muted that. So we do website development. That's where we do, different site design and dev and all that kind of stuff. We do e-commerce projects. We do, all kinds of things there. We manage PPC for people. And then we also do hands-on SEO and things like that. Now, in terms of the development, it's not just WordPress sites and simple stuff. It's complicated stuff too. And we have a testimonial from a guy named Sean that I'll share with you right now, who shares one of his experiences with us on a large-scale development project.
Hey everyone, my name is Sean Cavanaugh and I'm the Chief Content Officer for Income Store. I just wanted to drop you a quick message about my experience working with Conklin Media. I've known Dave for almost a decade. He's one of the brightest minds in digital marketing today. After struggling with delivering the right user experience for several of our websites, we decided to turn the projects over to Conklin Media. We couldn't be any happier with the results. In a very short time, Dave and Emily and his team went through our notes and created 2 websites encompassing the vision and scope we were looking for from the very beginning. Not only were all the pain points resolved, but the user experience was top-notch, and functionality and scalability were also thought out. Dave was thorough, professional, and his deliverables were met every single time. It was a real pleasure working with someone who knows design, but also builds with growth in mind. I look forward to working with them again on future projects, and I certainly hope you consider them for your next project as well. Thank you.
Sean's such a nice guy to say those nice things about me. No, seriously, our team here is awesome, and we do look at growth. It's not just about a pretty site design, and I think that's really important when you're deciding to work with somebody. You want to be with somebody that actually gets conversions, and that leads us to how we look at conversions. So regardless of how a person that may buy your products or service finds out about you in the beginning, whether it be from an email, from search, from social, no matter where it comes from, that's always the first step. So it could be a referral, it could be whatever, but the first focus is we do things that get you awareness, that get people that could buy your products or services to be aware of your company. And we entice them with something. So it might be something like a white paper, a how-to guide, a best of, something like that. We pull them into your site and we offer that thing to them. And they're kind of like, oh yeah, I'd like to have that. So they'll download it, or they'll give their information, or they'll create a free trial to something, or some way they actually become a lead. But this is key. We install a retargeting pixel on their computer at that point, which allows us to then market to them through display marketing and things on an ongoing basis in the future. Then after that, we want them to become a prospect. So that's where they would call in, they would download more in-depth content, they would request more information or do a demo with you or something like that. So we're pulling them back with that retargeting campaign. We're pulling them back with that email campaign to get them back into the website to actually go through and become a prospect for you. Then we want them to convert. We want money in the bank, baby. We want to make a sale. We want to get them to call and set up an actual kickoff appointment with your team, buy a product, something like that. So that's the conversion. And one thing that we love doing that most agencies don't even touch is the advocacy and referrals. So we want your customers to become people that are raving fans about you, that are screaming from the rooftops about how incredible you are. And there's ways we can use automation and technology to actually encourage that to take place simply by asking. But your sales team will probably never ask for a referral, ever. So what we do is we give them the power through email automation and social media to actually make that happen. Now, this is great, but how do we drive awareness? How do we actually turn them into a lead and different things like that? Let's talk about it. So the first thing that we start with is almost always share-worthy content. Now, what's share-worthy content? Well, share-worthy content is maybe a technical paper of some kind. It's some kind of information that is relevant to their job. It may not be a sales piece to you, but it's going to be something that's highly relevant to their actual job that helps them to grow. Or if it's not B2B, if it's B2C, and it might be a shoe lover, you might give them a guide to the hottest shoes for fall of 2018, something like that. So there's all kinds of share-worthy content, but we look at your audience and we say, okay, what would they actually be interested in? And there's really cool tools like BuzzSumo and a bunch of others that actually measure the social gravity of a concept. So they look at all the stuff that's been published on a specific topic or by a specific website, and they say, okay, here's how many shares that got in these networks, blah, blah, blah. So we look at that and we can kind of predict what's going to be considered share-worthy and awesome. But when we get that share-worthy content out in front of people through paid social community development, they actually end up coming to your website. So this could mean LinkedIn, for example. We might take LinkedIn and build out a social community there where we're spreading this share-worthy content, which is pulling them into your site, because LinkedIn will have a link to the share-worthy content. It'll pull them over to your site, and that's how we end up doing those retargeting pixels and generating the leads that we talked about in the previous step. So we also do organic social communication. So sometimes it might be, if you have a really cool piece of content that you're trying to spread the word on, we may actually go out there organically and join different communities and things like that, where we're sharing that content with different people. Then we do paid search. So sometimes if it's a content piece on something like the history of CEOs, or most motivational quotes by CEOs or something like that, we might do a paid search campaign where we're pulling people into that content, not for the purpose of making money, but for the purpose of taking someone who's interested in that idea and that concept, pulling them into your site to raise that awareness, and now we can retarget them with a message and or email them because they download some kind of awesome content. Then the organic search side. So we are really great at helping sites to rank higher in the search engines for keyword phrases that actually drive revenue to their bottom line. And that's what we do with our organic search stuff. And then nurturing. We actually nurture the leads and things like that. Now, through all of this, and one of the people that we actually helped out a lot was Bulk Memory Cards. They sell about $12 million a year of memory cards. And Steve Foley actually has a testimonial for us as well on the experience that he had with us.
I wanted to make this video to let you know about Conklin Media and Dave Conklin and his team. We turned to them to build our new website, bulkmemorycards.com, and they did such a wonderful job that we wanted to let you know about it. We met with Dave and his group, told them what we were looking for. They ran with that idea. Everything we asked them for was included in the new site. we've had so many positive responses from our customers about the new site and how improved it is over our old site. The funny part is we had originally contracted a nationally known company who is known for building websites, and they did just a horrendous job, to be quite honest. That's when we turned to Dave and just couldn't believe how easy and smoothly this project went. We were so pleased with Conklin Media Group that we turned to them to manage our AdWords campaign as well. Since they took that over, our bounce rate has dropped from 35% to 8%, which is unbelievable. And our sales have almost doubled on a 30-day period based on the previous 30 days. So thanks again to Conklin Media and Dave and his whole team.
It's kind of hard to argue with those specific exact results, I guess. And here's another one from Melinda Blackman. And this is a very small business owner. She's actually an artist, and she just has a wonderful testimonial that you can read on your own. You can pause this now, or you can look it up online. So one of the things that makes us special, and I think I addressed this earlier, we used to be really bad at client communication in my previous agency. Now we fixed it, and they're great at it now. But I want to talk quickly about kind of how we go through the process. So we meet with all of our clients initially, and we talk to them about what the overall goals of the project are. But more specifically, we break out the goals we want to accomplish within that first 3 weeks. So that's really important for everybody to be on the same page. So then we go out and we do 3 weeks of actual work, and our team communicates with each other throughout that process. We'll send you emails when it's relevant, things like that. But then at the end of that 3-week process, we have another meeting, which was scheduled in meeting 1, where we talk about the goals we accomplished, what we may not have been able to get to, goals we overachieved on, and what the next 3 weeks are. Now, the reason that this works so well is because of the fact that you're relying on us, and we're committing to this list of 3-week things. And it has to happen before that meeting, or quite frankly, we look ridiculous. A lot of companies will just have update meetings where they don't set specific goals or anything like that, and they just kind of get to what they get to. It's not the case with us. We're really great to work with in that regard. I don't think there's any customers we've ever had since we opened this agency where they had an issue with us actually performing at the level that we committed to performing at, which is exciting. So now that's a little different when we go through some of the different products that we went through earlier. That's always the case with the organic social and retargeting and different things like that. The design and the development process is a little bit different than that. And sorry, didn't mean to screw up the screen there. And I'm actually going to show you in a little bit, I believe, kind of what our design process looks like if you want to learn more about that. So a lot of people say, well, Dave, this is all great, but talk to me about how much is this? So I'll give you a couple of quick examples. So we have some customers that, spend well over $150,000 a year with us. And they're the folks that we're doing full-blown digital marketing strategy stuff for. So that's on the right under the full company marketing design and build out. So that's where we're doing monetization strategies, major paid and social campaigns. We're doing Dream 100 strategy implementations, all this crazy awesome stuff. But there's just a lot of it, and there's a lot of people involved on our end. So the red one is full microsite launch. This is probably our most popular thing. We do this for a ton of companies. This is where a company might want to jump into a new market. So maybe they're wanting to open up their services to a new industry, or they want to take their existing staff and or their equipment that they have and do a different type of business with it. So we'll build a microsite out that is, tested and true, and we'll build a marketing campaign around it to actually launch that site to make your phone ring and get leads for your sales team. And then the orange-ish color, I guess that's kind of orange, going backward, is just a basic SEO campaign. So our SEO campaigns start at $3,500 a month. We have clients that spend a lot more than that. And basically that involves us going out on the web, finding relevant people, relevant websites to your website and getting your website talked about on those sites. It also involves us actually focusing on, your site and building out the content and making sure that there's enough text there, and that, we're thinking of things like LSI, latent semantic indexing, which I mentioned earlier, all that kind of stuff, and actually building that out. But the focus there is organic traffic growth on keyword phrases that we already know are going to put money in the bank account. And the green one is design and dev. So this is where it might be an e-commerce website or some kind of a design project that also involves some custom programming. That tends to start at about 10 grand, can go upwards of 35,000. I mean, we've done, not here, but at my previous agency, we did websites that were $200,000. So it just depends on how complex it is. We don't like to get into a lot of way over the top programming projects. We have programmers on staff, but we're much better at the design with light programming. We can do simple API stuff and things like that, but nothing crazy. And then the basic site design started at about $7,500. So that's where you're looking at, you've got 10 pages of content, 5 portfolio pieces, a contact form, like a basic, kind of a website tends to start in that $7,500 a month range. And I want to tell you about Landcore. So Landcore is owned by a gentleman by the name of Matthew Rutt, and you can see his old website on the left. He really wanted a site that spoke to his audience, which are architects and things like that want to bring him in as the land engineer on a project. So he was really looking for kind of more of an online brochure. And that online brochure that we created for him is pretty solid. You can see it at landcoreconsulting.com. And then this is another individual named Maria Crawwell, and she wanted to create a logistics and transportation site. She is a large shipper of different stuff, and you can see her testimonial there. You are the best in your profession. I'm so happy that we worked with you. So that was just a really cool, testimony that we got back. And so we're going to finish up here because I want to quickly go over how you get started with us. So, if you get a proposal from us, we first like to have what we call a growth strategy session, where we really dive into your business and look at things. And you actually get more out of that than we do. But what we get out of it is an idea from you on what your growth goals are. So, for example, we might look at some low-hanging fruit opportunities where we feel confident that we could generate leads. But you may say to us, wait, hold on a minute, Dave. I don't want to generate leads in that area because the profit margins aren't as high as this area. So we might decide, okay, well, let's focus on those profit margins and things like that. So we kind of break out your business, we combine it with our marketing knowledge. And once you're like, yes, I like the price, I like everything, everything looks great, you then pay an invoice. Typically on projects, we take half up front for whatever project we're going to be doing, and then we get paid half when we complete the project. The monthly service stuff generally is paid 100% for the month up front. And that's how that kind of works. So then we have a kickoff meeting. After we get paid for that invoice, the kickoff meeting is scheduled immediately. And our team, all of the leadership people that are going to be involved in your project are in that meeting. We meet with you. We talk about everything. We break it all out. And that's our kickoff meeting. And then we're rocking and rolling. So we are, again, just honored that you would even take the 22 minutes and 45 seconds to actually listen to this. We appreciate it very much. And we're always thankful when we get to talk about different businesses and what we're doing for folks. So with all that said, my name is Dave Conklin. Again, I'm the CEO and founder of Conklin Media. And please follow up with your account executive or whoever you're talking to about things. And we would love to get cooking on a project for you. And if you're not currently talking to anybody, please check out conklinmedia.com. You can use the chat that's on the site to schedule a meeting with somebody. You can also email us at hello@conklinmedia.com or give us a call. We answer our phones, I think, from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern, I think. I don't know, but something like that. So we're always here to talk. Thanks so much. Have an absolutely fabulous, amazing day.